However, Nietzsche criticized this view, arguing that such rational morals were still deeply entangled with religion and historical contingencies. In fact, not all that rational. Instead, democracy is simply seen as the child of Christianity, according to Nietzsche, by which that...
Yes.
Foolish commie. Have you ever considered Vuvuzuela?
There it is, the elephant in the room. I've avoided talking at length about specific countries for this video because I simply can't cover all of them, and I would get a lot of comments saying
As our consciousness. Modern science often argues for reductive physicalism, the notion that all mental states and properties can or will
be beaten up. That's basically what he's arguing here. He would have myself, someone who has been very outspoken in opposing all forms of oppression. He would have Jyoti Brar, a prominent leader of communist activists and a woman of color in the United Kingdom, attacked as Red Browns and Nazbols.
Huh, no. That's a complete misrepresentation. That's not why I called you a Nazbol. It's because you're always palling around with Dugan, the Nazbol guy.
I come out of a left background, but I saw Donald Trump speak, and there were many times that he spoke, and I applauded. I heard him talk about how, there's this elite that is not loyal to the United States, these international bankers.
I called Jyoti Brar no such thing. I have no evidence that she's a Nazbol, aside from her agreeing to do an interview with you, which doesn't reflect well on her in that matter. Let me back up here if you're not familiar with Nazbols. Let me show you the Nazbol flag. Hey, does that set off any alarm bells in your mind? That make you think of anything? How about this one? That look familiar? Does that make you think of anything? Does that make you think of any group in history? Nazbols are Nazis with a Soviet aesthetic. I could go into detail about the bizarre philosophy that undergirds this, but it's nonsense made up to justify sneaking fast shit into leftist spaces. It bills itself as a synthesis of fascism and socialism, which means that it's just fascism, but they say bourgeois and proletariat more. Here's Caleb giving a speech about how the left has a culture of weakness.
Anything that is perceived of as weakness or disempowering, that's worshipped. And anything that is conceived of as strength or showing pride in oneself or building up one's strength, that's attacked, and that's said, well, that's fascist.
Why, who's that jaunty little creep right next to him who's nodding along? Why, it's from his anti-Semitism. You do not, under any circumstances, gotta hand it to him. But of course, Caleb thinks Farrakhan is great because, unlike CIA-funded Trotskyists, he supported Gaddafi.
That in 2011, when NATO bombs were falling and Libya faced a bombing and an onslaught at hands of U.S. imperialism, the Trotskyites were cheering for that intervention. Why? Oh, Gaddafi's a dictator, Gaddafi's a Stalinist, Gaddafi's an imperialist. But here is what Minister Louis Farrakhan, not a communist, said.
Why do you hate Gaddafi? Does he share the wealth of Libya with the poor?
Now, Gaddafi is a complicated historical figure. He did a lot of good things for Libya. He got people health care and education and all sorts of social benefits coming up. So skip to the time code here. World. Well, the aforementioned handful of rich ghouls don't.
So according to Mr. Thought Slime, the problem with capitalism isn't that in the pursuit of profits, capitalists are organizing the economy irrationally, and that even though the levels of productivity are rising, people are getting further and further into poverty. The problem with capitalism is that there's just too many resources being used. There's...
What? Caleb, my sweet, sweet summer child, this is such a willful misreading of what I said.
Too many people in the world. We all have too...
começa a fazer com que elas relaxem mais e fica colocando foco na questão, e pouco depois elas começam a ter sintomas que o Mignon descreve, e o Mignon convida as pessoas de fora e ele fala que o urbano é o culpado.
Contact, soldier,
A
target,
mão de alguém
man.
tá bem pesada aí na história.
Então, é aquela coisa que, tipo assim, novamente, é que essa história não é muito famosa, né? E eu acho que é muito...
Target acquired. Contact, man.
Nossa, porque é uma história incrível, né? Tipo, uma série de posições dentro de um convento.
Soldier, 75 meters, right.
Vai tentar te enforcar pra não ter que te queimar, né? Porque você mandou muito bonita, né? Vamos se enforcar, que é o contexto, né? Isso é o que seria.
Man, 75 meters, right.
Gente, isso que eu quero é falar muito importante, tá? Eu tô trazendo só mesmo motivo histórico.
tirar da sua cartola a questão religiosa, o pacto com o demônio, por aí vai, que é incontestável, né? Tipo, tá aqui o documento assinado pelo cara, assinado pelo demônio, cara, que vai...
Não, mas é aqui que eu tenho que discordar, cara. Como assim você fala que isso foi utilização política da religião se tem um documento assinado pelo Satanás? Você quer prova?
Pelos.
Pelos. Vale. E a grafia é diferente. Presta atenção ali. Então, não tem jeito, né? Você
Man, 200 meters, right!
Morreu, você está errado. Se bobear, tem teu nome lá no canto.
Na verdade, eu fico imaginando. Esse cara. Vou pegar o Freira, vem cá, o estagiário, vem cá. Faz o seguinte, escreve uma parada aí pra mim, é o seguinte, vai falando que eu tô narrando. E eu vou te falar que pra ela deve ter sido tipo assim, ela era a mulher que tinha sonhos eróticos.
Injured!
Cara, tipo assim, ela tem que escrever isso, que vai incriminar, que vai levar o cara pra morte, deve ter sido assim, doloroso pra ela, né?
Não, o pior não foi isso. O pior que foi, ela chegou e falou, tá, aí beleza. Aí tá, aí o cara falou, agora assina. Aí ela colocou caneta no papel, olhou assim, tá, mas não assinou o quê?
Assina como, né?
Não, faz o seguinte, faz uns
Carrie, bringing down bigger structures may be a good way to feign a bigger attack. Keep it in mind. Out.
Não, eu sou Zabulon, eu sou Bafomé, eu sou Olavão. Cara, mano.
Vou fazer aqui um coraçãozinho, né, com a flechinha. Pera aí, que eu sou o demônio do coraçãozinho com a flecha.
Tipo, o André já tá imaginando aquela filinha de demônios atrás da mulher esperando, né, pra entrar e assinar e sair, aí entra o outro, assina e sai.
Pit Ghost.
Cara, que doido.
E é tão louco esse caso que o Urbano, como o réu falou, assim, a probabilidade, quando eu falo que ele não jogou o jogo e tal, ele obviamente conhecia o jogo político bem o suficiente. O que eu acho, como evidência histórica, olhando agora, que a gente já sabe que
Roger that.
aconteceu, fica muito mais fácil dizer, eles
I'm
provavelmente
out.
usaram
Wait.
isso aqui, usaram o que ele não dizia, a gente nem sabe se no final ele realmente confessou, ele pode ter confessado, só que a galera achava que ele era uma peça que precisava ir embora. Então, assim, efetivamente, o que aconteceu ali, a gente nunca vai saber.
Ele foi o Lutero que deu errado, né?
Right, you lads have managed it, but watch yourselves. There's a small army headed your way. Get the hell out of there. We're moving on Strawman now. Over.
Copy that, Falcon. Gavin, we need an extraction ASAP. Over.
Ele até tentou, talvez.
Teoricamente, a história fala que ele tentou falar, só que os monges que estavam lá jogaram tanta água benta na cara dele que ninguém
Standing
conseguiu
by.
ouvir o que ele tava falando.
Contact, machine gun. 300 meters southwest.
Take cover. There's an enemy. Fast mover. 300 meters west.
Target in sight. We got an enemy. Fast mover. 800 meters southwest. Target in sight.
Move 200 meters front.
We'll go.
Move 300 meters front.
Roger that. Enemy spotted. Man, 300 meters. Bearing 240. Contact. Tank. 700 meters. Bearing 285. Eyes on target.
Fast mover. 1.5 clicks west.
Eyes on target. Contact. Tank. 200 meters. Right up ahead. Target inside. Contact, tank. 200 meters, just up ahead.
Contact. Soldier. 200 meters in front.
Target acquired. Eyes on target. Contact, men, 75 meters. Right up ahead.
Contact. Soldier. 200 meters in front.
Contact, tank. 200 meters behind us. Contact, right, 75 meters to the right of us. Eyes on target. Target inside. Target inside.
2. Move back.
I've got him. Solid copy.
Fall back.
Solid copy.
Move 100 meters front.
Solid copy.
Halt.
Solid copy. Contact, rifle.
3. 4. Weapons free.
Contact, men.
Contact. Car. Contact. Fast mover. 200 meters in front.
Fast mover, 1 click west.
Move left.
On the way. Contact, sniper. Target eliminated. Contact.
Saved my
Fast
life.
mover, 1 click west. Standing by.
It's a fucking skull.
Contact. Rifle.
Target is neutralized.
It looks like that was the last of them. Move back.
Roger.
Open up your pack. 4. Weapons free. Four. Hold fire.
Contact. Tank. 400 meters. Barrel 315. Contact. Tank. 200 meters. Right flank.
Rearm. Rearm. Four. Move right.
On the way. Waiting.
3. Get in that vehicle.
Understood.
Three. Get in that vehicle.
Copy.
3. Return to formation.
Roger that. Ready.